Hey, how y'all doing today? Today is the day of when Trump was indicted, August 1st, 2023. How fitting that August is always a great revolutionary month when it comes to black people getting some semblance of justice and righteousness and things of that sort. Um, you know, August, has had a lot of kickoff events. Nat Turner, I believe the Haitian Revolution was during this month. So, today I'm going to talk about basically the indictment of Donald Trump. I'm going to talk about what happened to Hunter Biden. We got to have a balanced approach. So we're going to talk about the Republicans and the Democrats. My main topic is going to be the Donald Trump being indicted. Then we're going to talk about Hunter Biden and how hypocritical his charges are and his sweetheart plea deal is. And then we're gonna talk about that slavery was a benefit bullshit set up by Florida's Governor DeSantis, and we're gonna just round it off with just what we should be seeing in the world events. Just we're gonna also tap back into the self. Like I like to end it off now. You know, go outside and then go within in the end. So we're gonna talk about what can we say? Stuff you can do for yourself internally so you can change your life and in turn change your community and then change the world. But it always starts with yourself. So first we're gonna start with Trump. So today Trump was indicted on 4 counts of basically trying to usurp the government and become a new Mussolini, a Duce, if you want to put it like that, or even more worse, a new Hitler, basically, by seizing power directly using a fascist takeover of violence and storming um, the annals of power, quote unquote. So he was indicted as the ringleader of this, which he did. They surely, clearly did. He committed treason. Him and his right wing gang members and neo-Nazi fascist stormtrooper brigade. And what's ironic is these many of these people were cops and police officers who were doing all of this, you know, and calling themselves patriots. How Machiavellian of them and double talk and Orwellian of the name patriots. A patriot doesn't commit treason and storm the Capitol and attack innocent civilians and attack other police officers. So I thought it was back to blue. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's not back to blue. So we gotta, speak truth to power on this. Um, Trump being indicted right now is because there's a faction fight going on right now between the right wing ruling class and the left wing ruling class. Uh, the left wing ruling class understands that him coming to power means that he'll never leave power. If he gains power, he's going to make sure that he can't leave, and he'll have a fascist gang. Because as he famously said, "I have the cops, the bikers, and the military on my side," which is saying I have all access to the power to make sure I maintain my rule and conquest, quote unquote. So that's really what's going on right now. Um, let's go back. Let's go back a couple years. Let's go back to January 6th of what was it, 2021, and let's go back to why it happened in the first place. Yeah, it was about him maintaining power, quote unquote. But also the grander thing, it was also a reaction to what we did during the George Floyd uprising. During, during 2020, when the pandemic was being said, yes, I said pandemic with a PL, not pan with a PA. So during the pandemic, um, if y'all don't know, let me just give you a brief overview of what was going on. 2019, China was not obeying the ruling class's dictates in Hong Kong. Trump was not obeying certain orders in 2019, and their new Obama puppet candidates, Kamala Harris or Cory Booker, were not passing the smell test, and were not being pushed through the way Obama was pushed through in '08, '07, '08, '09. And reasons for that was the population had developed. They weren't so blinded by hope and change and a black face in a high place, or a woman, or whatever, whatever progressive uh, physical feature or symbol that was being pushed didn't wasn't enough anymore. For years ago, it was enough. All you need to do was have a black candidate or a woman, something that seemed progressive. Not the old traditional WASP and white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male in power. So, um, even though Biden's Catholic, but not the traditional. Uh, how can we say not the traditional standard? Basically, you know, basically white slave master, male or female entity in power. So they tried to push that in 2019. But we were so ready for her. We were so ready for all of them. All of these Trojan horse. Um, it looks good on the surface, but behind the scenes, it's filled with poison candidates who are just going to be another agenda 2.0, another bait and switch, another trick bag. So in 2019, we got Kamala out the paint. She had to force to resign. She was supposed to be the president, whether y'all know it or not. She was supposed to be the president, but because we were so steadfast, so we were so angry because of how decadent Obama was, we didn't want Obama 2.0. So that's what happened. And the Democrats freaked out because their chosen horse candidate didn't work. Trump wasn't going along with the agenda, and China was saying no. And on the Russian front as well, they weren't playing ball. So in 2020, they had to reset the world. And so you got the pandemic, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, you had, depopulation methods. Also, the Jeffrey Epstein thing was coming down, so the ruling class was going to start getting hit with all of their pedal rings being seen in the light of day, and everybody knowing what's going on for real, and really what they be up to for real, and how they got their money and what they're really about. And on top of that, you had the economy was about to go back into a '06, '07, '08, '09 financial crisis again. So that's what all those bailouts were for, the those $1 trillion packages that were supposed to be for the masses, but really went up to the upper echelon, the elites, basically, like they were bailed out again, like back in during the Bush and Obama years. They were bailed out and given quantitative easing during that time period, and nobody batted an eye because the Rona pandemic was a smokescreen for all of that. So they were able to reset everything under that Trojan horse cover. So you have that. And then you have in 2020 as well the George Floyd uprisings. Black people, remember, for now, it's been a decade now. It's been 10 years since Trayvon Martin's conviction, and the protest movement from that point forward has been 10 years now. You had Ferguson, you had Baltimore, you had Austin Starting Philando Castillo uprisings, you had the anti-Trump uprising, anti-white supremacy uprisings. Um, you've had a bunch, man, a bunch. And then it all culminated with the George Floyd uprising in 2020 when the black people was just like, fuck this shit, we're finna ride. We tired of all this injustice shit. We tired of this decadency. And we're going to take justice on our own, basically. And we're not going to take no for an answer, basically. You know? And so the right wingers felt a way about that. You know what I'm saying? They felt a real way about that. They felt like, damn, okay, these niggas are going for theirs. You know what I'm saying? They not backing down. It's crazy right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they felt away, you know? So their counter move to our uprising and our um, push for power was for them to have a decadent push for power, for them to rally around their fascist Mussolini of the modern day, and that was Trump. And so that's really why January 6th happened. To first usurp the left wing means of power and take over, and create a right wing fascist white supremacist enclave state, and then on top of that to counter our move too, because of what we did in 2020 with the George Floyd uprisings and all of that. So you know what I'm saying? So that's why you got that. Now for Trump's thing, Trump knew that he you know, he wanted to seize power. He knew he was under criminal, could have been under criminal indictment, so he wanted to make sure that him staying in power meant that nobody would charge him. He lost that. He lost. Now he gambled on creating enacting basically a Mussolini style March on Rome thing. He lost that, and now the left wing is trying to make sure that he can't come back to power, so they can keep pushing their agenda down the pipe as well. So, you know, that's what's going on right now, and they're trying to make sure that he can't win the presidency anymore, and they're trying to charge him for that, for him trying to come back to power, because they don't want him to come back to power, because they want to rule through their means of ruling. The left wing isn't good either. Let's keep it 1,000. Left wing is a death 1,000 cuts. Trump is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But the bad thing is we're already at 500 cuts from the left wing side. See what I'm saying? You know, the only good thing, like we said, like we've talked about before, is when the Republicans come, they have us in an uproar. We start waking up. We start being like, okay, fuck it, we can't pretend like everything's all hunky dory. Oh, let's go do a lean with it, rock with it, bop, or let's do the nay nay, or let's do the flex, or whatever. We gotta, stand up and fight like we did during the George Floyd uprising. We gotta be unified and together. But the minute the left wing comes back into power, you start, listening to songs like WAP. You start getting back into the NBA. You start believing what Obama says again. It lulls you to sleep. The left wing is actually pretty insidious, and in some ways, this is more decadent because while the murder is happening, they're the ones holding your hand saying it's okay while they're the ones stabbing you, but they're hitting you with that Novocaine so you don't feel the pain. The left right wingers make you feel it. They don't got no knife and no Novocaine or no um, laughing gas, so you don't feel no pain. They got the chainsaw and the hatchet, and they just hatching away at your ass. So that's the difference. That's the difference. So what do you want? Do you want to know the pain is there, so you can react and fight back to it as you would, or do you want to get that Novocaine so you, it's okay, I'm lonely to sleep and shit? Nah, bro. Why they sliding your ass? So no, 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 no. So that's the reason what's going on with the Trump thing, straight up and down. And Trump is already, as a last, DSS ditch, is already calling for civil war. Basically, like, hey, y'all put me in jail. I'm gonna have my bikers, my military folks, and my uh, police go on a rampage. That's basically what he's threatening, basically. And who you think they're gonna target? Us. That's what I've been saying for a long time, for about 3, 4, 5 years now. And black people, yeah, it's good to be on code, but also it's good to make sure you have protection groups, self-defense groups that can defend against terrorists or right-wing neo-Nazis who will be coming down to seek vengeance because they feel like they can do that and take advantage of those who are out by themselves, a vulnerable population. So uh, families, make sure the kids are all right. Women, get around some men again, man. It's time to get off of this hot girl summer bullshit. Fuck these niggas. I'm feeling while you're in danger right now. It's time to get back into that George Floyd unity again. It's time to get off of that right now. It's time for y'all to circle the wagons, get off of that feminist manifesto and all that other sucker shit. Kids, stop thinking y'all adults. You guys are children. Stop thinking you know everything and yeah, whatever, mom. Y'all dumbass gonna be set up in a trap. And then it's time for y'all to stand up right now. It's time for us to take the lead and start protecting our households, protecting our communities, protecting our nation, protecting our black race, basically. Foundational black Americans and those who are on code. Straight up. You know, domestically, locally, nationally, statewide, county, and worldwide. And that's straight up. And it's in the Constitution, self-defense. So that's all I'm calling for. Self-defense. Defend yourself against any form of attack. So that's straight up and down. So what else? What else? So I spoke on that. Um, what else was next? Oh, the second thing, Hunter Biden. So how hypocritical and decadent it is that Hunter Biden being charged for guns, drugs, and just a whole bunch of decadency, degeneracy, and treason, and bribes, and just everything, domestically and foreign, is now getting a sweetheart deal so he can get not only not charged, basically, his charges dismissed. You don't even get to know about anything else that he did, basically. Meanwhile, the architect, his father, created the whole drug wars against black people with Strom Thurmond, a rubber stamp by both Republican and Democratic presidencies and administrations: Reagan, Bush the Elder, and Bill Clinton. Three Strikes You're Out, powder versus cocaine, mandatory minimums, the whole drug thing, the whole private prison industry, the whole drug apparatus. Biden behind that, and his son is could be a poster child for said drug epidemic, but no charges, no destruction of his family, no nothing. Cocaine at the White House, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Guns, drugs, all of that. You know what I'm saying? A sugared brother and all of that. Just a full stereotype. And a kid out of wedlock, and they're supposed to be the apple pie eating, great American family of virtue and greatness and high class and honesty. Do you see the hypocrisy of this and the decadency of this? And this needs to be called out. It don't need to be called away. We know why they're pushing it now, because it's election season and certain ruling class elements don't like Biden because he's pushing back against wealth class. But damn that, man, black people are suffering because of that bitch, and he needs to be exposed for that. And all these decadent drug laws against us need to be overturned immediately. And there needs to be Crimes Against Humanity Act because of these slave prisons industries that were set up because of him. Yeah, so there's nothing else to say. And Hunter needs to face justice. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? If the black people had to face 20, 30, 40, 50 years for all of this shit, he needs to be facing the same shit, bro. Yeah, you face that justice, and then let your daddy overturn all of them things so that the black people can get out, and your ass gotta face that. Cause you gotta eat that, bro. For real. That ain't justice at all. And I'm glad we're in the age of Aquarius because everything's being exposed and revealed to the light of day. And that's good. So that's the second topic. Third topic, slavery was a benefit. So DeSantis is bitch ass. Just a little weasel. He's a clown. He's just a joke. Remember when he was in Central Florida or whatever at that college, and he tried to uh, get all gully with them college kids? DeSantis, you suck, bro. You're a little punk. Like back in school, bro. I bet Hobies fucked you up back in the day, bro. For real, for being a little Miss Finster, being a little rando from recess. Remember that, kids? Remember that, young adults? Remember Randall from recess? That's what that is. Randall from recess turned an adult. That's him. That's him. Turned adult and turned racist, basically. You know, like, dude, you are such a little bitch, bruh. Like, dude, you barely would have got some work back in the day in schools, bruh. You're a clown, dude. You're such a loser and a dork. Slavery was a benefit. You know how insulting that is? So that's like the equivalency of saying the Holocaust was a benefit to Jews. What? They wouldn't dare disrespect the Jews like that at all. And the fact that no other groups, number one, the fact that there hasn't been a harder pushback from us. It's been a pushback. I'm not going to say it's no pushback, but it needs to be even harder. The fact that all other groups ain't even pushing back is insulting for humanity's sake. Like, slavery was no benefit to nobody. It was evil, decadent, dehumanizing, insidious. Like, it destroyed families, took people's souls away, deprived the children of innocence. Like, like, can we let's just break down what was going on in there? The worst of the worst: cannibalism, beatings, rapings, incest, breeding farms. Just I can't even. Just the devil's punch bowl times a million. Like, it was way worse than what they show. It's already bad from what you hear, but it was way worse than what they show. Pulling teeth out, doing human experiments. Like, this shit is just like evil. We didn't learn no skills from nobody. They got the skills. The only reason why, I mean, one of the reasons why we were enslaved in the first place was because of our skills. We taught y'all, just like everything else. That's why. That's another reason why they keep trying to, quote unquote, stop the woke movement. Woke meaning black people. They try to frame it like all of this weirdo left wing shit. That's not. That's not it. I'm not into none of that. Boys can be in girl sports and beat up women and go in girls' bathrooms and all that other shit. No. And DeSantis know that shit is fugazi anyways too. You know that he can use a wedge issue to get his numbers up or whatever. But what they're really against is black people, especially the kids, learning the truth, learning what we really did, learning that all the inventions we created, like Lewis Latimer inventing the light bulb, us building a car, flight, the internet, uh, mass production, the plant system, the cotton gin. It's so many. I can't even like just. I can't even quantify it, bro. The refrigerator, the elevator. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much shit. The stove, like the refrigerator. It's just refrigerator truck. Like, it's so many. It's endless what we did, bro. And then there's so much that we don't know because they didn't give us credit for it because we were enslaved. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that's what the truth about it is. They don't want us to know what we did, and then because that means that somebody's gonna owe us. That means that we're gonna get our reparations and have it documented historically in education, and it's gonna teach us who we truly are and who they truly are, and the decadency that they did, and the righteousness that we did, and all the fighting back we did to end this shit, and that they didn't free us, that we freed ourselves, and that we were always fighting, we were always freeing ourselves, we were always pushing against this shit, and we were never saying no. That's what this shit is about, man. This shit is just about trying to wipe everything out so you can reset everything, so you can replay the game and maintain this white supremacist death cult and this inhumane, imbalanced system of non-justice and decadency and malfeasance and deprivation and degradation and destruction and decay and destitution and demoralization. That's what this junk is about, man. And that's why I'm on this video, to say fuck no, to say this shit is not fair, it's not okay, it's not cool, it's not none of that. And I'm gonna stand up tall, 10 toes down, always, bro, always, without no fear, boy. That Khalid Muhammad energy, straight up and down. And for y'all that don't know who Khalid Muhammad is, look up Dr.KHALIDMUHAMMAD. So y'all do y'all thing, man. Y'all go ahead and look that boy up, because we need more of that. We need about 1 million Khalids out here. Because I swear to God, if Khalid was around right now, none of this shit would be going down so smoothly, bro. We need to get back to that George Floyd unity, fighting energy that we were on. We need to never get off of that. I'm gonna keep reiterating that. We need to stay on that energy, because that energy kept us pushing, kept us moving. We were in the right direction, and we were so quick to get off of it because of our fear of power. We got scared. We were like, oh shit, damn, we get this? Oh damn, they scared? Like, we don't know what to do. Like, we gotta come up with plans, strategies, and have that commitment of, we're not gonna stop this until we take over power and we end injustice. We are protected. We get our reparations, and we end all means that can be used against us for really our genocide. And white supremacists and wannabe supremacists, decadency, and um, demoralization, basically. So, man, so that's why, you know what I'm saying. This is why the ruling class is so hell bent on us staying in our in the nigger shit, basically. My nigger shit, I mean the bullshit that's on the TV, the bullshit that you hear in music, all that drugs, Molly Percocet, pussy pig, booty hole brown. They want to keep us demoralized. They want to keep us devaluing ourselves. They want to keep us at a negative energy and frequency. That's what it's all about, man. It's really what it's all about. That's why at the end of the video, like I said when I started, it's going to be all about working on yourself, healing yourself, having value for yourself, both men, women, and the kids. Because if you value yourself high, you won't be listening to nothing low, straight up then down. You just want high frequencies, and you'll demand that artists and TV and images and things of that sort imitate and replicate what you are internally. And if they don't do it, then you do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to be happening. That's why it's important to tap in right now. It's important to tap into frequencies, tap into that hoodoo, tap into our natural selves, tap into high vibrational things, tap into your history, tap into the truth about who you are. Know thyself, both from a race, but also from yourself too, just so you know what you need to do going forward, so you accomplish your dreams, so you go after what you believed in as a child, so you unlock yourself, you free yourself. And that's what this video is all about, man. The video is about freeing yourself, not limiting yourself. Man, you unlimited. We as people, as black people especially, are unlimited, man. We're straight up and down, man. We are magic. You don't get out of slavery if you ain't magical, if you ain't no God. Straight up and down, man. Something as evil as that shit, as horrible as it was, as demented as it was, you gotta be a God to break out of that. And then you gotta be a God times two to break up slavery in a more sophisticated form, which is Jim Crow. And then to be able to stand up again one final time, which is what's going on right now, what we're trying to gear up for, which is the boss level, the, how can we call it, the hoodwink era of so-called freedom and post-racial and everything's okay hunky-dory era, which is the most insidious because it pretends like everything's okay, but really you're in hell. You're like, oh no, everything's in heaven. You're like in this trance or whatever. And so once you get woken up, you're like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, oh hell no. Oh, you a ghoul, bitch. Get your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they've been doing to us for the last post-King era, so about 50 years or so. So since they got King, you know what I'm saying? In 68, so 50 plus years, we've been living in this so-called post-racial era, which is just a lie, which is just a trick bag. It became more covert, more hidden. But now we're in the age of Aquarius, so nothing's hidden anymore. So either we get free or we go to hell. And we ain't going to hell because we're built, because we're gods and we're meant for heaven. So it's time for us to push. It's time for us to fight. It's time for us to first push within yourself. Break free from the slave within yourself and become the God within yourself. Get rid of white supremacy within yourself. Get rid of your fears and limitations within yourself so you can be limitless and take over. So that's what time it is right now. So, that's where we are right now, man. I'm excited. I always get excited when I start talking that real talk, man. It's amazing. It really is. It truly is. So, yeah. So those are the three points. What else I was going to talk about? I always forget too. I start getting on the roll. I said I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, I said I was going to talk about world stuff. So the world stuff that's going on is what's going on in the world? What's happening in the world? Oh yeah, the agenda. So, like I said before, the right wingers are doing their overt white supremacist bullshit. Where they want to whites rule, white only everything, and blacks you're back in slavery, or you're genocided against overtly. That's what the right wingers want. The left wingers are using all their apparatuses to be spent against us, using all of their infantry units. So whether it's the feminist brigade, LGBTPZ, or whether it's the immigrant groups, Asian, Hispanic, East Indian, Arab, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, or it's the Africans, the Caribbeans. They're using all of that to co-opt our shit. So that's what's going on right now, and we have to counter it all. We got to counter it all because all of it is a means for our genocide, especially against those who built the nation, foundational Black Americans, us, from the soil. So that's just what it is. Oh yeah, and to quantify, I want to reiterate it one more time. When it comes to reparations, reparations is cash payments and also a never-ending stipend because slavery was perpetual. So it's kids were supposed to be in slavery. So in turn, the reparations will go down to kids in perpetuity forever. So that's cash payments, us being protected class. So we have our own military, our own fighting force, our own police force, just in case they want to try a Red Summer 1919 because we get our just due. Because that's what they'll try to do, of course, to try to wreak vengeance because we got our righteousness. Oh, and then also a full set economy. So anything cars, it's made by Black people, owned by Black people, et cetera, et cetera. Team sports, um, inventions, our factories, our clothing stores, our clothing manufacturing, our water systems, our sewage systems, our electricity grid, the whole apparatus, our farming, all of it, owned and run and worked by us, all of it, from everything. That's the reparations, a full set economy, a nation basically within a nation, and for us to have permanent political power too. So that way nothing can be usurped from us. And that's what the reparation is. And to get education so they won't dare be able to say slavery was a fucking benefit. We have our own education, own training, um, and mental too. So we get and spiritual and emotional and physical, all of the stuff that was deprived of us and made and taken away from us for us to be less than ourselves. We regain ourselves back in full perpetuity. And those who committed these decadent acts then and now be brought to justice. So that's what it is. That's what it is, bro. That's what the reparation is. We're calling it all out. And yeah, so world events. So um, China's economy is shrinking because the U.S. is using economic warfare because China's trying to be the new kids on the block, and they're being challenged. And on top of that, their production is slowed down because they only benefit and they only became a world power because not we, the 1% pushed all those factories over there to counter us, the masses of the people, and especially Black people in the 60s and 70s from getting economic justice and union fair wages and things like that and economic base to be able to live a standard of living, and they wanted to make it a low wage, low skill economy so that we'd be more dependent. They were angry with FDR's high skill, high wage economy that was helping the masses of Americans and thus cutting their power of oligarchical domination down. So that's what we've had. And that's why China was able to rise. And so now that China's now flexing out, now we have to go back to the manufacturing, industrial, high skill, high labor jobs that were there prior to them. And China's going to take a hit because of that. Because now things are going to be start saying made in the U.S. again. And infrastructure projects are being reset again, the same way FDR was doing it. So that's causing a sway, and plus people know their game. They're trying to be the new dominant imperial power on the block, and people ain't going for that. We want justice. We want to end to this evil decadency of imperialism, and China's taking a hit because now they are being seen as the uh, imperial bastards that they are. You know what I'm saying? And she is just being a tyrant, and people can peep that. Russia, sort of the same way. We can tell the truth that Ukraine's war really got started because the U.S. coup d'état in 2014 ousted a pro-Russian government, but Russia pretext and invaded Ukraine with no means of or reason. They wanted to invade to have a buffer zone, but they didn't. But it wasn't like Ukraine was going to invade them. So that's what we have right now. So that's what's going on the world stage. Um, so yeah. So I'm gonna end it off with hold on. I'm gonna end it off with a certain knowledge of self. I'm gonna end it off with a certain knowledge of self that I want our people to tap into. It's time for us to, make ourselves whole again. So that means doing the hard work. If you have childhood wounds or things that you haven't healed from, it's time to heal. Time to tap into frequencies. Time to do the whole nine. Because that's what's needed right now, for sure. So it's time to tap in. It's time to tap into the high frequencies. It's time to tap into chakra healing. It's time to tap into hoodoo, root work, getting natural, eating healthier, the whole shebang. It's time. It's time. It's time, guys. It's time. And if you do that, I guarantee your life will be lifted. It's time to go for what you have believed in and your dreams again, and not second guess yourself, because you are enough and you can do anything you put your mind to. You are limitless. One of my favorite movies is Limitless, by the way, because not for the drug use, but him unlocking himself and reaching his highest potential. And that's what I see myself as, and that's what I see for all of my people, black people, and those people who are on code. So I just want to put that out there for y'all. It's all about yourself. And just to be honest, that's why I haven't been making videos recently. I've been working on myself as best I can. You know, um, Healing myself, alchemizing. Trying to tap into some hoodoo now. More natural stuff, frequencying, listening to different readings, like the whole shebang, man. And it's helped. It really has. It's helped. It's helped. I can feel it. It has. And so, it's time. It's time, guys. And, that's just what I'm going to end it off with. So look for, like I said, look for a show every week now. You know, I know I waited a couple of days. I know I said Sunday, but, better late than never. I decided to do it on Tuesday. So look for a show every weekend. And I thank you guys for tapping in. And I thank y'all for listening. Oh, and just one more final point. Like, share, subscribe, send to your friends, to everybody. I'm trying to make this a full channel so I can make videos, make enough money to actually do this full time, and turn this into a podcast, turn this into a news station, and I eventually run for office and seize power. You know what I'm saying? Because if nobody else wants to take up the mantle and do what needs to be done, I will. But you need support, you need funding, you need apparatus, organization, and that takes a whole, litany of stuff. And so I want to do this. I want to see the world better. I truly believe in my yacht and the full range. I truly believe in goodness, for real, truth, love, power, peace, joy, like the highest virtues, the universal truths. Like that's what I embody. So, I appreciate y'all, really, for real. I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for sharing, for liking, for, being there. Because, it takes a lot. It does. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to share, yourself, and you're not always going to be received well. And people may, doubt you or try you or be like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Who is this person? Who is this black guy to say this or that? Why does he know this or whatever? You know what I'm saying? And, I'm going to just be honest with you. Um, that can bother you, I'm just, for myself, it does, um, people not believing in me bothers me. You know that's been a thing for since I was a kid. You know, you being really smart, but yet that being seen as a negative. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff like that bothers me. And so doing this is like therapy. So it's good to get be able to speak your truth and then to see people leave good comments. People say great work and keep going and stuff like that, and people following and using what you say for bigger platforms, because I've seen it too where some of the stuff that I've said, other people have taken it and said the same things. Um, Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, which I'm flattered by. I'm humbled by it. But I would like those same views as well. I would like to be on that huge stage and huge platform so I can actually do some damn good and not just, be twiddling my thumbs basically. But I know you have to crawl before you can walk. But I just really, talk to the universe when I'm making these videos, and I'm saying like, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for more. I'm ready to lift off and really, be that voice and that leader that can elevate and take us where we need to go, which is heaven, and get us out of this hell that's been orchestrated, and that's real. Oh, and I just want to give y'all, my bad, one final thing when it comes to like a political platform. I know no candidate is going to say this or even be on this same wavelength, but when it comes to power, political power, things that a real president or somebody in power would be doing right now if they were on a president or whatever, globally first, they would be countering all forms of imperialism, both by their own nation and by other nations around the world. That's number one. They will be making sure that there's trade, protectionism, and ending a true ending of starvation, poverty, and lack of humanity around the world. That's what a real person will be doing. They'll be ending these international pedal rings and bring it to like those who are involved in said things and all of this human trafficking and human harvesting and just this decadent global means of devilment and Satanism that's been happening around the world for far too long. They will be calling out this decadent ruling class who usurps the masses of the people's right to humanity and instead flips them and makes them play this game of really degeneracy that's being played. A real president would have the economic bill of rights, which means you have a right to a house, a car, a job, transportation, um, a universal income, leisure time, and just a new way on life. If you want a small business or a business in general, you can get a loan or a grant or whatever without no real paperwork for real, and infrastructure projects, you know, uh, manufacturing, curing all the diseases, bringing back holistic doctors, just a whole apparatus. Ending poverty, ending white supremacy, ending these senseless deaths, going after all these serial killers, going after, just the full apparatus that a real president would do, or somebody really who would be in power will really do. A living wage, not just a $15 minimum wage, but a living wage that equals a standard of living of somebody who is middle class. So you raise the whole wage structure up, and the universal incomes that meets the needs for somebody who will be able to live a decent living automatically as a citizen. Because as FDR said, needy people are not free people. You want to be you want a nation of people who are enslaved, independent, or a nation of people who are independent and can just live life to the fullest. And we need to discover stuff in outer space and in our oceans. So you will have a advancement era in the underwater scientific research fields and in outer space, so the astronomy field and stuff like that. And you would invest in the kids, so making sure that the kids are valued so that their dreams can come to fruition and teaching them the right way, and rebuilding the traditional black family structure and the traditional family structure, man, woman, kid, so you can populate and extend life. So that's what a real president would be doing. Real rap. You know what I'm saying? That's real. Now, these presidents will not be enacting anything that I just said. Oh yeah, reparations for sure, as I said earlier, but and protecting black people. But this president will not be doing that. None of them, and that's why we need somebody real. Shit, and keep it 1,000. Hey, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And I want to run locally, state, and if I could nationally too, and win and enact these things that I'm saying, because other people were going to, but they were stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just have a way of life that imitates Maya and universal truths. You know, it's a new lease on life.